Today, this professional photographer is going to give you guys a step-by-step guide on how to take professional level pictures at your home. No special equipment required, no special skill set. You can have zero experience in photography, and I promise you, if you follow my instructions today, you'll get printable images of your dog that you're going to want to frame. And speaking about printing, thank you to today's episode sponsor, Printique. They are the company that I use to host my entire online print store. And in addition to using them for my professional work, I use them personally for all my printing needs as well. So for example, after today, I'm hoping to get some beautiful shots of my two dogs, Bop and Choo Choo, and I'll upload the images to my account with them, and I'll print them, and I'll have some nice frame shots here at my house. And I encourage you guys to do the same today. And yes, you can print pictures beautifully that were taken with a camera phone. If you have like a newish camera phone, you'll be just fine, trust me. So check out the affiliate link in the description box below. Okay, the first step to this is to pick your camera. So if you only have a camera phone, again, like I mentioned, that's just fine. Grab that. If you have a dedicated camera, I encourage you to use that if you're comfortable using it. I'm gonna use my Leica SL2S today, and I'm gonna use my 50mm lens. But I'll also show you guys side-by-side shots with a phone, so you don't just say like, oh, that's only a good shot because it's a good camera. No, good cameras don't take good pictures, good photographers do. But you don't need to know anything about photography today at all. I'm gonna guide you through this. So even if you have no skills, you're gonna be just fine. So don't worry, don't tune out. So step one, you've got your camera phone, or a dedicated camera. Step two, you wanna find a room in your house with a window in it. That's it. No special lighting, doesn't have to be a huge window, doesn't have to be floor to ceiling windows, just a window will do. Now, ideally, you'll time your photo shoot for when you get direct sunlight coming through that window, but if no direct sunlight comes into that window, or the timing just doesn't work and you wanna do this right now, that's okay too. You just need to shoot it during daylight, that's it. And then once you go in that room, you're gonna turn off all other lights. So that includes lamps, that includes your overhead lights, any other competing light sources, you're gonna turn them off. So what you wanna do is get into a good position. So your position is going to be, again, you guys are the window, I'm your pet, that's weird, and your camera, where you're going to be, is here. So camera there, pet here, window here. I hope that makes sense. So now if you have a nice chair with some color to it or some nice texture that you like, though, you can include that chair in your shot. If not, and you want to keep it very, very simple, just pick a stool or a table and have your dog sit on top. The next thing you're going to want to do is to employ someone in your house as your assistant, someone who is friendly and familiar with the dog. So it could be your kids, could be your partner, could be a friend that knows the dog well, and they're going to be off camera with treats to keep your dog's attention. Now, important part about your assistant is your assistant should never be standing between your pet and the window. I hope that makes sense, because you don't want them to block that light, because that's your only light source. So next thing you're going to think about is positioning. So now you never want your dog facing inside, because it's all going to be dark in the way that we're going to expose today. So your dog always has to be facing your camera or facing out the window so that the light hits evenly on the face when looking out the camera, and a couple more dramatic shots looking at you where it's going to be half in the shadow and half lit. And the next thing before you start shooting, I want you to take a minute and write down, if you want, or you can just think about this. Think about your dog's personality and what you want to capture about that personality. And then we'll strategize about how to do that. But for me, for example, my dog Bop is very timid. I want to show that. I know that won't be that hard, because I know as soon as I put him on a table or a chair, he's going to show how timid he is. And then Chew is, I love him to death, but he has a very nasty side to him. So I want to show his playful side. I want to show his cute side, but I also want to show that nasty side of him as well. So I'm hoping to capture that. So that's sort of the mood I'm going for. Because anytime I do a portrait, I want to capture my subject's personality, not just with humans, but with pets as well. So give that some thought before you actually start shooting. Okay, now I'm just going to talk quickly about focus and exposure. Now, focus for this exercise, you want to focus on your pet's eyes. That's usually a good rule of thumb just in general. You're photographing people, you're photographing animals, focus on their eyes. Because if it's just off, it's going to mess up your shot. So with your phone, you're just going to pull up the camera mode and tap on their eyes, and your phone will do the job and focus. And with your dedicated cameras, just focus like you normally would, but focus on their eyes. Now, if you're using a dedicated camera, just to keep things very simple, I want you to shoot as wide open as you can with your lens. So in my case, this is a 50mm 1.4 lens. If you have a zoom lens, that's fine. I'm gonna say for your focal length, stick between 50 and 85. That should do the job just fine. If you're dealing with just a camera phone, just put your camera phone in portrait mode and use that. You can have that nice little autofocus professional look. Now, as far as exposure goes, since we've turned all those lights off in the room, and since we want this shot to be quite dramatic, we're using just the light from the window to hit your dog, no other competing lights. What you want to do is we're gonna expose just for the light, just for that window light hitting your dog's face. So if you're using a dedicated camera and you're gonna shoot in manual exposure and you're gonna expose for just where the light hits your dog's face. Now, if that makes no sense to you, that's fine. Now, if you're using a camera phone, what you wanna do is pull up the Photos app and then you wanna tap on the screen. You see that little sun, that little box? So what you're gonna do there is tap on that little sun and drag it down and make it darker and darker and darker until the only thing that's bright in your picture, the only thing that you can see is where the light is actually hitting your dog. So everything else in the picture will be dark except your dog. That's how we're gonna get this nice dramatic shot. So again, tap the screen, tap that little sun bit there and drag it down until it's only bright on your dog's face, and that's it. It's gonna eliminate any busyness in the background or anything distracting from your portrait. Before I move on any further, I just want to thank my sponsor for this episode, Printique. I mentioned them earlier. I use them for my professional online print store, but I also use them for all my personal printing as well. And after today, because you've listened to me closely, because you've obeyed all my instructions, you're gonna wanna print your images from today, so consider opening up an account with them. Consider printing the images from today. Again, like I said, even images that you took with your phone will print really nicely. And we've got prints all around the house that we've taken with a camera phone, and they look fantastic. And it's just a nice thing to have around the house, because if you're like me, your dogs are part of your family. You want to show them as part of your family. So I love having the prints of my dogs around the house. And we even have a little memorial to my dog Pon Pon, who passed away last year. And it's so nice to have those keepsakes. I'm so happy that I took the time to get real nice portraits of her and then print them and frame them at our house. Anyway, open up an account with them. I have an affiliate link in the description box below. Now the fun part, the shooting part. You've got your dog by the window. You've got your assistant off camera holding treats to hold their attention. You've got it in your mind what you want to capture about their personality. You've strategized about how you want to do that. Again, if your dog is a curious dog and you want to capture that curiosity, then maybe you whistle, not too loud, you don't want to hurt their ears, or maybe you hold a treat off camera, or maybe you just look outside. I don't know. We've all got our little tricks. Whatever those tricks are for you, use it to bring out their personality. And so as far as settings goes, you've underexposed like I've said to do. You've focused on the eyes. And another thing you're going to want to do is set your phone into burst mode, because with dogs, you're going to have a lot of moments in between moments. You're going to have the tongue coming out. You're going to have the eyes blinking. You might get a yawn. They might bark, and you might want to capture that. There's moments within moments. And if you didn't time it right, if you just shot one and then waited and shot another one, you'll miss it. So normally I wouldn't advise this in photography, to just shoot, like spray it and then edit later, because it's a lot of work. But in this case, I'm gonna advise you to put it in burst mode. So for your iPhone, you basically just hold down the shutter button and then your photo button, and then you just slide it to the left and it will just take as many photos as possible. All different cameras have different ways of doing that, but figure out how to put your phone into burst mode and just fire away. Same thing goes with your dedicated camera. Put it at the fastest it can shoot and just spray. Obviously, before you do that, get your composition right. You know, what I like to do is some full body shots. I go a little bit wider and then work my way in. Now, you might want to try some shots with some negative space. Might want to try some tight shots of just their face and then some shots somewhere in between. See what works for you, but try a little bit of everything. Try tight, try mid, and try some wider shots as well. Okay, so after about 10 minutes of shooting, take a little break, take some time, take a breath, give your dog a minute, give your dog a break to go run around because they've probably been sitting still for a bit and they're getting annoyed. And use this time for yourself to go through your images. Scroll through and see what's working. Maybe you've got a shot that you really like the moment, but you didn't get the light right. Maybe you got a shot with the light's really nice, but you don't have the right moment. So look at it carefully. Make sure that you've got everything you want. Be critical of yourself. Look through and say like, yeah, okay, I can improve on that. And then strategize. Put some time, put some thought into it and strategize. If you didn't get their personality right, how can you bring it out? If you didn't get the light right, go back and underexpose the way that I said to. Or if your dog didn't have the right attitude, have a little talk with them. So after that, go back out, shoot again. Don't quit. I encourage you guys, don't quit until you get it exactly how you want. Now, we're not aiming for like 20 to 50 pictures. We just want 5 really solid ones. That's all we're going for today. So once you're satisfied, once you've got what you want, then call cut. You call it a wrap. Give your dog a treat. Give yourself a pat in the back. And the next thing you want to do is go through those images, do a little color correction, add some clarity, some contrast, and whatever you like to use to post-process your images. I use Lightroom, but if you've got a phone app that you like, that's also fine as well. For me, for today, I'm going to do most of these images. I'm going to convert most of these images into black and white because I just think that works well with that single light source and quite dramatic. Just a little bit of window light, just my dog. And I find black and white quite timeless. Here's some of my favorite shots of the day of my dog Choo Choo and my dog Bop. Something I should have mentioned earlier, if you had a little bit of extra time and the person that was helping you out was your partner or your kids or just someone that's close to the dog, take a little moment if the lights work and everything's working and get some shots of that person with your dog as well. You can have them pick them up. But again, keep everything else the same. Keep that focus, keep the exposure, keep them by the window, and fire off a couple extra shots there as well. I got some nice shots of my wife with the dogs. Those nice little moments you can treasure forever. And this isn't to say this is the only way to capture your pets. I also encourage you to try some shots around the house, like pure documentary style. Just go around and photograph them as natural as you can. Another thing you can do is go to the park and get some action shots. But today's exercise was just for some simple, elegant portraits that you're going to want to print. Call them printable portraits. I hope you guys captured what you wanted. Please share with me your images. I'm going to share with you guys right now some of my favorite images of today. These are simple, they're not like super complex, but I feel like they capture my dog's personality well, and I feel like they're timeless images. So again, if you have any questions, you can ask me in the comments section. I'm quite active. Thank you again to Printique for sponsoring this episode. Thank you guys for following along. Thank your pets for being really patient. Anyway, enjoy your day, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to have a wonderful day.